Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
And now for a devotional song. It will be sung this evening by Sanchari.
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये, पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये, मन अभिमान नाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। सकल लोक मां सहोने वंदे, निंदा न करे के नीरे। बाच काज मां निश्चल राखे, धन धन जननी तेनी रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। समदृष्टि ने तृष्णा त्यागी, पर स्त्री जेने मात रे। जीव्या था कि असत्य न बोले, पर धन नव झाले हाथ रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये, पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये, मन अभिमान नाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे।
This was one of Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajans. We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is December the 2nd, 2018, and on this Sunday evening, Swamiji continues with the lecture series on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is series 2018, lecture number 22. And now, Pujya Atman, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 3, entitled Karma Yoga. And we are in the verse number 8. Profound insight is being given. The only subject that we give insight into is to how to get liberated. It's neither here nor there. Beyond. Neither here nor there. Joking, but let's. The topic opened with two paths. One is cut down your karmas by absolute renunciation, called Vihangam path. Open your wings and just fly. Don't worry about anything else. Climb it, go up on the big branch and just fly. It's the Vihangam path. And that's not impractical, rather it is the ideal. But you have to be prepared through many lives. Don't come the way with mixed up slate. If you are already purified yourself and qualified yourself through good deeds done through many lives, then the moment you hear about the limitations in all worldly enjoyments, you begin to open your eyes, you see, you can understand. No matter how much you may secure your enjoyments, it's kind of a childish situation. A world which has not allowed great personalities to stay on. Biggest of people have come and they've vanished, and we don't know how many were there. So, if you are well qualified, then like Nachiketa of the Upanishad and many great personalities who were very early age, they had attained great insight. From early age, their interest is not to pursue that general plan. Childhood stage, then comes Brahmacharya stage, then Grihastha stage, then Vanaprastha stage, and then lastly, sannyasa. First is a student state, then you become householder, and then there's stage of retirement, but in a spiritual way, it is a stage where you share, you become a teacher, and share spiritual teachings. You don't get tired, you see, you become inspired. And then finally, sannyasa. That's, now, if you are not qualified, if you are qualified, fine, you jump. Hardly you have finished your childhood age, you are ready for sannyasa. Shuddhosi buddha, I'm pure, I'm enlightened, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. And bravo, if you have come to that stage, that's wonderful. But if you have doubt that I'm not in that stage, then don't climb the tree and fly. You will break your legs. Now there is a possibility, rather not, that's a general tendency to find something quick, a foxy way of outwitting troublesome path. Having come to know the sannyasa is the quick method. Now, without understanding what sannyasa is and what you are going to attain through sannyasa or renunciation, without understanding that, you simply adopt externalized appearance of sannyasa. Or, worse still, you develop a very wrong concept that if you are staying without doing anything, you will be free of karmas. Why to enter into any karma? Only thing you can't avoid, you have to eat. You have to, then there are smart people, they get servants. They won't do themselves. Servants will do everything. No karma. I'm joking, but try to understand. There are many ashrams and holy places are filled with many sannyasis, apparently. But they are not. They are far from even ordinary yogic movement, because they have gotten into a tremendous illusion. People who are holding on to their stick, they have been sticking to that stick for 20 years. They have written now the date. I'm joking, but to illustrate the point, smallest little thing, they hold on, they are attached. So I will not go into too much detail in that. But Lord Krishna says, out of the two, follow that path that is not risky, that will not break your legs. Follow the path, and what is that path to be followed? 8th verse. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karmaja ya karmana sharira yatrapi chatena prasidhyeda karmana. I speed it up. Let me go one verse before. 7th verse. Yaspindriyani manasa nyamyarabhate Arjuna karmendriyaiha karma yogamasaktaha sabhishishyate. O Arjuna, one who has restrained the mind and senses and engages his organs of action in the performance of actions enjoined in the scriptures, such a person is far superior to the one who adopts mithya acharan, hypocritical sannyasa. Now, one who has restrained the mind and senses, in other words, that is your ideal before you. To control the mind and first understand your personality is like a chariot. Senses are the horses. Mind is the reins by which the horses are pulled. And intellect drives the chariot. But intellect must follow the purpose of the soul. It must lead the soul to enlightenment. And behind all that, the source of all inspiration is God Himself. So, If you are in that project of controlling the mind and senses and purifying your intellect, then you are qualified to pursue the path leading to liberation. And out of the two paths, the practical path is path of karma yoga. Karma yoga means you do your duties, you don't move away from them, but understand by duty what we mean is swadharma. A subtle meaning behind that. First point to understand that you are born with a certain subtle qualification based on your previous karmas. And the duties that you will adopt in your life, they must match up with the type of karmic process you adopted before. Say, for example, in your previous life, when you were 80-year-old, you suddenly decided to become a musician. Hardly you got some musical training, you departed. Now you are born in a family led by your karma, family of musicians. And now you begin to follow the music, but then you come to a certain stage and young people around you tell you the music doesn't give money. Medicine gives money. So get away from music. Good, get into science. And if you fall for it, you are going into a big trouble in your life. Because now what you are doing is not fulfilling, not satisfying. That's called paradharma. Swadharma, what would have been fulfilling to you. So that point has to be kept within. To understand, this is all theoretical understanding, but things are never clear before you. In a clear set, 2 is here, 3 is here, add it and 5 is there. That's so clear. So having given the understanding of swadharma, everyone comes with a stream of swadharma called pravaha patita karma. Action flows like a river. It's coming from your past. So when you deal with a river, you don't think of where it is coming from, where it is going. No, right there. If you have to drink water from it, drink from it. To take a bath in it, go into it. And you cannot enter into the river even twice. You put your head down, next time when you are putting your head down, you are not in the same river. The river has flows on. That's called pravaha patit karma. Karma flows on day by day, your things move on. Without going into much detail, the idea behind it, that you choose that process of swadharma, which is pravaha patita karma, which comes a spontaneous stream of karma. And having chosen that, now there are 2 possibilities open for you. Before you didn't have 2 alternatives. One alternative is do your karma and then go after the result of karma and go on doing karma and enjoying the fruit of karma. Fruit of karma is in the realm of time, space. And that fruit will not give you immortality. That will continue. There is no end to it, how long you want. But if you are doing swadharma, you have this choice as well as another choice. Let me turn to a deeper fulfillment through my action. And deeper fulfillment is performing your duties without expecting the fruit of karma, for pleasing God. This switch also doesn't come all at once, but in different degrees as you evolve. From fruit of karma to bhavana shuddhi, purity of heart. If karmas go on giving you a lot of money, but when you turn to your heart, it is a lot of garbage. So the world will speak of your success and your wonderful achievements. They are all right doing so. But your real fulfillment will not be there. And real fulfillment is what that counts. Another type of fulfillment, you go viral in your money and business and so forth. That's shallow. Real fulfillment, when you live your life with constant inward taste of surrender to God, which is more than nectar, a spiritual self-effacement. Just like children find great joy in the arms of the mother, soul finds great joy when it comes to that discovery that a motherly, profound love enfolds it. If this unfoldment has not come in your heart, but you are supported by the external world, see the two types of support. The external world support is terrible. I will not go into detail on that. Another point. Now, the topic of tyag. Doing your actions with spirit of renunciation. That spirit of renunciation comes in 3 stages, according to 3 gunas. Sattvic tyag, which is the real renunciation. If renunciation term confuses you, consider something English uses relinquishment. It seems to me like a too big word. Spirit of sacrifice, that's what is implied. Sattvic tyag means do your duties with the mature understanding that going after the fruit of action, say for example you have your duty, your project is to create a mango grove. Now your mind attitude can be two ways. While you are putting the mango trees in their places, you are constantly thinking, in my family, when my sons will have their sons, and their sons will have their sons and daughters, they will always enjoy this grove. But suddenly someone tells the news that in political systems something is possible that this whole area goes into somewhere else. It goes into another type of project. And you have already done halfway all the mango trees. And now you become so miserable. So we are facing this illustrating sakamya karma. Karma where you have a whole set. This is the way you want it. And something changes, then you suffer bitter despair. But from the beginning itself, if you have, I'm doing my duty, and someone says, well, within 5 years your property is going to go into some neighbors. And you smile. You know, they will have wonderful fruits. It's a matter of attitude. My neighbors are as good as my sons and daughters. So therefore, in other words, if you are following nishkamya karma, you will devote your energy and time in doing your duties in a perfectly expert way, with skill and efficiency. And you are without expecting the result. Rather, with inner confidence that God will give you the best. Also a subtle understanding what God gives you is much better than what you have expected. Because you cannot expect the best because you don't know what's best for you. So that attitude enters. So since I was describing the tyag, relinquishment, or spirit of renunciation in action, sattvic tyag, remove phala sakti, attachment to fruit of karma. Also, becoming too glued to certain mode of karma. You should be flexible. Rajasic tyag, no matter how wonderful opportunity has come to you, but you look at yourself and say, oh, but it requires too much work. I will not take that. I'll take something that takes little work. The tyag that is done, kaya klesha bhayat. This topic comes in 18th chapter that I'm putting together. That type of tyag is rajasic, where you are simply concerned with your comfort and afraid that you will be going to be exhausted by doing work. So with that concern, if you don't enter into the activity, which is your duty, because what happens if you enter into activity that is your duty, you receive another source of energy called inspiration. But if you continue only in a lesser level, all that you receive is perspiration. And tamasic type of renunciation is out of mental delusion. You see Buddha always seated in meditation. Now tamasic, that's the way I will be. You will not turn your attention to what happened before Buddha was brought into seated position. And even while he was seated, he is not seated all the time. He is constantly inspiring people. But all that you see is how wonderful, peaceful. Oh, that's the way I will. That becomes tamasic tyaga. So in following the right course of action, first point, swadharma. Second point, allow the spirit of tyag to enter with swadharma, sattvic tyag. Sattvic tyag means allow your mind to move away from fruit of karma which is transient. Turn your mind to purity of a heart which is giving you a treasure that your soul will enjoy and will not leave behind. Worldly treasure will leave behind, no matter how much you have attained. But goodness, Daivi Sampat, divine qualities, they are with your soul until the soul attains the highest liberation. Niyatab kuru karma tvam karma jyayo ya karmanah shariri yatrapi chatena prasiddhyeda karmanah. Therefore, perform your duties in daily life. Perform your swadharma. I'll give you a little suspense. Now comes, let me give you another point. Having heard this, don't create a big problem with yourself. I understood it. I want to do only my swadharma. And presently the work I am doing, paradharma. It brings a lot of trouble, not for me. I'm joking. That's not the real purpose behind it. While giving you the idea of swadharma, in a practical way, what you have to do, whatsoever work you are doing, you are already doing, do not create a big disharmony with your action. Whatever you are already doing, the food that you are already chewing, chew it well. Don't start chewing the tongue. Whatever work you are already doing, in your mind, consider it, this is swadharma. Don't calculate any further. And bring, along with that work, bring the spirit of yajna. And that point I will elaborate in the next verse. The spirit of yajna, which allows your action to become karma yoga. In other words, same action that gives you fruits of karma. Now the action will give you fruit of karma plus an internal fulfillment. And the internal fulfillment will be of greater value to you than the fruit of karma. So you are not being deprived of the fruit of karma. So all this has to be well understood. Therefore, perform your duties in daily life. It is far better to act than be inactive. By being inactive, you cannot maintain even the needs of your physical body. Already I have explained to you. If you renounce action, simply because of moha, because somehow you don't like this whole process, you don't like put yourself into any type of effort, then that's not a good, that's tamasic renunciation. If you renounce by calculating how much work I have to do into it, understand, when you have a joyous project, you don't calculate that. You are celebrating some loved one's birthday, etc., or any similar occasion in family, people become more inspired by more activity, more inspiration. Performing your swadharma in the right way, what does it do? It reduces vishaya chintan. Without going through study of Raj Yoga, etc. Simple, you can see even with the students, when they become interested in, say, mathematics, geography, history, now they don't depend upon parents telling them, study, study. No. They become so interested in pursuing that science or whatever subject they are studying, that in that pursuit they begin to find a special taste. What I'm leading you to understand, that if you keep yourself busy in a purposeful manner, not monkey business, good business. If you allow yourself to have always something to do, it doesn't have to be physical, mental, inspirational. Life has to be all blend. Manasa, vacha, karmana, action through your thoughts, actions through your speech, actions through your body, actions through your prayer. All are plan of action, karma. If you keep yourself busy and in a very practical way, organs of action kept involved with activity, it has a very simple effect also, it is good for your health. If you stop moving your hand, you will get joint pains. Swadharma reduces your Vishaya Chintan. Vishaya Chintan. If you don't have that type of activity that gives you some fulfillment, then what happens? You sit back and countless Google opens up. And that's called Vishaya Chintan. Vishaya Chintan causes nothing but chinta. Chinta is worry, anxiety. And anxiety is a disease. It doesn't have any purpose for you. You don't accomplish anything by worry and anxiety. Keeping yourself busy in a purposeful way, in a joyous way, that's a great fortune in life. Amazing fortune. यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणो न्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बंधन तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्त संगः समाचर. Only those actions bind a person which are not performed for the sake of yajna. Yajna is translated as sacrifice, but it's a very profound term and I will explain that. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform actions without attachment and with dexterity for the sake of the divine self. This is the highlight of the teaching. Perform your action without being attached to your expectation. You are doing some action, you have an expectation. You are preparing certain things for Christmas, and you have expectation that my brother from Texas should come. I'm joking. I've done nothing against Texas. I'm joking. But simply do your duties. But don't become too bonded with your expectation. But then what is fulfilling? Do your actions in the spirit of worshipping God. You do your actions in worldly terms inspired by your loving relations. But your loving relations don't give you, at that stage you don't know what love is. And therefore loving relations are not, they are based on moha, kind of delusion. What I am leading you to understand, even with your loving relations, try to understand you are loving God. So Godward love should be associated with your performance of action. Your actions are like flowers being offered to God. Now, let me explain now yajna. Yajnarth karma karana. Do your duties in the spirit of yajna. What does it imply? First, in a very simple way, it implies the formula of be good, do good. Then you are doing your action in the spirit of yajna. And Gita gives you later on many variations of yajna, but I'm going to give you presently. Deva yajna, the type of sacrifice that brings you closer to God. If God becomes your focus, and whatever aids you to move Godward, that's called Deva Yajna. Tapo Yajna, tapa is discipline. Any form of discipline that makes you fulfill the purpose of life in a profound way, called tapa. And therefore, practice of concentration, meditation, reflection, all come under the category of tapa. Tapo brahmeti. That's what Upanishad describes. The disciple asks Guru, how can I attain realization of Brahman? The Guru says, austerity, tapa is Brahman. And by that he implies, get involved with understanding what is the reality behind all this universe. It's a whole process of concentration, meditation. Yoga Yajna, following the 8 steps of Raj Yoga, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, in your life, that becomes Yoga Yajna. Swadhyaya Yajna, studying scriptures that inspire you in daily life, called Swadhyaya Yajna. Jnana Yajna, this moving towards spiritual understanding of what is real. Attaining jnana, by that's the direct road to liberation. But jnana yajna implies as you advance, the more you allow spiritual knowledge to be disseminated by you, the more you share, allow your energy to help others to understand themselves and thereby be free of their problems. That becomes your jnana yajna. So when we say yajnarth karma ka karma, do karma for the sake of yajna, then these are the yajnas involved: Deva Yajna, Tapo Yajna, Yoga Yajna, Swadhyaya Yajna, Jnana Yajna. And also let me relate to you, for majority of people in India, even today, whenever they think of yajna, they think of a beautiful animal to be sacrificed. all those who are meat eaters, they begin to drool. Why this misinterpretation? That is a interesting point behind it. All negative qualities that you need to sacrifice, they are called pasha. And because of those negative qualities, a human being becomes a pashu, like an animal. Pashas make you pashu. What are the pashas? 8 negative qualities, they are called ashtapashas. And therefore, in Hindu tradition, when people lie down on the floor for adoring, it's called Satsanga pranam. 8 parts of your body touch the ground, allowing your mind to remove those 8 negative qualities. And what are those negative qualities? Grina. Grina is a hatred. The very word grina, if the whole piece show up. Lajja. Lajja is a kind of a dull-wit, foolish type of shrinking away from doing the right thing. Next is bhaya, fear, living a life of fear, not knowing that God within you is the destroyer of fear. Shanka, constant doubt. Jugupsa, gossiping habit. Kul, being too proud of your family line. You have not attained much, but anyone, you meet any friend, you begin to describe, look, my grandfather, see, look at that building, he did it. I'm his daughter, grandson. That's cool. Sheel. Sheel refers to gracious appearance. Gracious, I'm not giving in a proper way, it's not really gracious. But all your interest is in appearance. No, what you are internally doesn't, who cares? But the moment a person comes into a certain group and they see his necktie is not rightly done, look, what type of cultured family is that? When he starts eating food, he doesn't use spoon in the right way, you criticize him. He doesn't know anything. He's uncultured, wild. So when your sense of culture is just external, that's called sheel. And that makes you pashu. Next one is called jati. You belong to certain Brahmin, Kshatriya, certain class, caste, what India call caste system. And you become very proud of it. These 8 points, any one of these is an animal. Yajna is sacrifice it. But sacrificing means what? If sacrifice anger, it becomes love. Sacrifice pride, it becomes humility. sacrifice your arrogance and it becomes something gracious. That is called sacrifice. And that sacrifice must enter your karmic process. As you perform your actions, as time passes by, you see your negative qualities drop, positive qualities develop. You are maturing yourself in a profound way. And with this I'm going to conclude. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hari Om.